Welcome back. Tonight's story is about my Corsa SRI that I had. Red one, 1993. It's the first car I actually ever bought by myself. Well, I say by myself, it was the first time I ever got a bank loan as well. So my mum and dad always said, look, listen, never get a bank loan, never pay cars on finance, save up. You've got a nice car already. It was it was after the Cavalier, it was an Astra actually. My dad had bought me that one for 500 quid. And I always said to him, when I bought my own car with my own money, I'd always give him the money back, or whatever I sold it for. I did sell that Astra. He bought it for 500 quid. I'd had it probably just over a year. Did all the bits to it, alloy wheels, and I'd sold it for 475. Yeah, it was a G-Reg, that one. 1990. G996 KCL, that Astra was. It's dead now, looking at the MOT record. But anyway, move on to the Corsa. So I went into my local NatWest and decided to get myself a bank loan. This Corsa was $3,000. And I didn't know if I didn't have any credit history or anything. I was 18 at the time. So literally, as soon as I got 18, I went to get this loan. And it was back in the days where they'd just kind of ask minimal questions, really. And the girl at the bank, I was like, look, I want this car, She went through a load of questions. I can't even remember what the APR was, but I remember paying £120 a month. I think it must have been over 3 years. I hope it wasn't over 4 years. But anyway, so got the money. I felt like a payday millionaire. I'd never had $3,000 in my bank at that point, ever. I was like, bloody hell, like I'm loaded and I'm just going to go buy this car. So where did I get the car? Doncaster. I went to, there was a guy selling them off his drive, and my dad used to work for Vauxhall, as I said before, so he knows enough about cars, so we toddled off and we went to have a look, and it was a nice example. One of the doors, as you shut it, it made like a tinny noise, but that's probably just Corsas, let's be honest. And the only thing wrong with it was the central locking worked, apart from on the boot. Never worked on the boot, so you had to put your key in and do it. It was a 3-door SRI, real nice spec. At that, I felt good. 18 years old, bright red Corsa, tunes on, 6x9s. I put in the, actually what I did was I cut 2 holes out in the parcel shelf, put the 6x9s in, and then put a St. George's flag across it. So I called that car was called George. Anyway, and tunes were pumping. Back in the day where like dance music was, Robert Child's Children and my Insomnia, all that kind of stuff, banging out all the time. Anyway, this one morning, I worked in Harrogate at the time, just like a part-time job thing. So I was driving to Harrogate, and I don't know if anyone's from Harrogate or knows Harrogate, but there's a big roundabout as you enter Harrogate off Wetherby Road, and there's a big roundabout called the Empress Roundabout. So I sat there, tunes going. It was about 8:30 in the morning, proper busy, rush hour busy. And as I was waiting to go from the roundabout, a car came round the roundabout, and I went, but then I saw it and stopped. Boom! Right into the back of me. Fully marked cop car. Didn't have his blues and twos or anything like that, but he proper clattered me. So we both kind of like pull off the roundabout and pull over. And the guy that gets out wasn't a copper, he wasn't a policeman. He was like the valeter guy who transported cars from the garage back to the police station, blah, blah, blah. Don't know what else he did. But anyway, as he got out, we exchanged details on the back of my boot. So as he whacked it, it just kind of like dented all the bumper and the boot just went in a little bit, the hatchback. But as we were doing the details, it was like leaning on my boot. And because I had my radio on proper loud, it was like the guy was struggling to write. It was, if this was his piece of paper, it was like, do, 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 do. But he didn't say, oh, he was so embarrassed. He didn't even say, well, it's because you had your radio on too loud. Listen, you know the rules. If someone crashed into the back of you, it's their fault. End of. So that happened. So I had to take it to the local garage. I can't remember exactly how it all happened, but they paid for it all through insurance. They admitted, fault or whatever. Took it to the local body shop, And after that, the central locking now worked. So did your central locking work before this crash? Yeah, everything was perfect, mate. Yeah, so it had a new hatch back, all sprayed lovely, new bumper, all sprayed lovely. Central locking works. So I was made up, and because it's a red car, I was slightly worried about the match of the paint, but it was really good. A lad actually that I knew ended up doing it for me through garage and through all properly, but I did know the guy doing it, and it was a real good job. Then thought nothing of it. 5-6 weeks later, I get a letter from the North Yorkshire Police. You're never going to guess what this said. Blah blah blah, dear, blah, 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 blah. Get to the bottom in bold, big bold letters, a lot bigger than the rest of the letter. That was a lot of crap anyway. We will not be prosecuting you. Well, you're damn right you're not prosecuting me. So you've paid for it all. You've admitted liability. And then you send me a letter saying you're not prosecuting me. It's just a joke, isn't it? But yeah, that was the story about that car. So there's plenty more stories, plenty more cars. I just thought I'd run a quick one through you tonight about that red Corsa. It's on the thumbnail. It's not that exact one, but it looked exactly the same as that. L103 MCE, I think it was. I've got a thing for number plates. So yeah, and then I learnt a new phrase today. Well, not a phrase, but like a, if you're having a bad day and all that kind of stuff, like the inspirational quote. So I thought I'd leave you with this one. You can't control the force or the size of the wave that's coming at you, but you can learn to surf. See you on the next one.